The Boys takes place in a world where superheroes are as popular as celebrities and as influential as politicians. They are revered as gods and abuse their power. Sound familiar? A vigilante group arises, the Boys. Their mission to take these bad guys out. Let's look at a clip. Let's welcome our guest. As Annie January, otherwise known as Starlight, Erin Moriarty. As Huey Campbell, Mr. Jack Quaid. And the producer of The Boys, and as superhero Homelander, he's joining us from Toronto, Mission Control. Hello, Mr. Antony Starr. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Good, good, good.
It's in his contract that his head has to be bigger than ours in any given. Right, this is great.
That's insane.
Oh no! Oh, I didn't know there'd be puppeteering. I don't like this.
Oh my god.
So, when you were reading season 4, you had a lot of gasp moments.
Yes.
And I want to...
You were just listening to me reading. It was. Oh, I don't know about that one. Yeah, a lot of that.
What was it? What was it that made this season so different?
I think it was just incredible how, Eric knew that this was going to be like the penultimate season of the show, and therefore I just love how we get so deep into every character's story. We're really dealing with their core traumas. Huey was no exception, so Eric set up this amazing subplot of Huey's mom abandoning him when he was a kid, and just to be able to explore that with Simon Pegg and Rosemary DeWitt was honestly one of my favorite acting experiences I've ever had. Rosemary is, I think, a national treasure. She's so unbelievably talented and cool, and I learned so much from her. Simon's been my hero for years, and there's a scene where I go, "You're my hero, Dad," and I am not acting.
Oh.
And that meant so much to me.
Very emotional.
Yeah, he's in my phone now as British Dad, and that's just the greatest thing in my life. That's unbelievable.
So, for your character, she's been through a lot. She's had, more than costume changes.
Yeah.
There's been a change in tone and everything. Talk
Yeah.
about her evolution this season.
Oh my god. Listen, her evolution is like, it's so... Here's the thing that I love about working with Eric Kripke is that, like, every time that you expect something is going to go one way, it doesn't go that way. And that goes without saying, right? Like, in terms of all the shock value moments of the show. But when I found out about halfway through the season the trajectory that this character was going to be taking, and the deep dive into this identity crisis she was going to be struggling with, or has been struggling with, and the way that was going to manifest in this like metaphorical like double character moment was like, I don't have the word. It was ineffably challenging, satisfying. It was one of the most gratifying experiences of my life. I've never been more, I don't know, I feel like this is an overused word, but I just felt so stretched by it in the best way, because I love working like that. And he just, like, from the get-go, this character has been so challenging for me because I want to be able to do her justice. That's been my only intention, and the amount of nuances there, and then the amount of nuances that just like every season that have grown, but then this season just like it culminated in a way that was so much fun, and I got to be evil. Like, it was so amazing. I want to be evil again. It was so much fun. I'm gonna be honest, it's so much fun to be like.
But you're always on the right side. I think that's
Well,
why
yes,
we're always
like,
rooting.
when I say evil, it wasn't
Yeah.
me. Like, you know what I mean? Aaron got to be evil. Annie will never. But like, it was
I got
so
to watch
fun.
Erin have a fight scene with herself.
Yeah.
She nails. That was
Was
unbelievable.
How was that?
It was, honestly, I feel like I've never given birth, so this is so horrible to say, because like moms out there, like you can't even compare, like don't even talk, but like it's like so hard, and I blacked it out, but like at the same time I would do it again in a heartbeat, because it was like one of the best experiences, most gratifying experiences of my life. But like at the same time, I don't know how I did it. Like I don't know. honestly, it's a testament to Coy, our stunt coordinator, who's brilliant, and he just held my hand throughout it. And like, I love him so much. He's such a good dude, and he's so talented. I wanted to just make him proud, and like, you know, it was an amazing storyline to get. So I had no choice but to throw myself into it. It was wild.
Anthony, Homelander, tell us about exploring his dark psyche this past season.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, the season is structured differently anyway. It's because effectively taking Annie out of, taking Starlight away and making her Annie and part of the boys, that really adjusts the structure of the show and the way that the story is told. Because effectively Starlight was the British spy in the Nazi headquarters, you know, and that was 3 seasons of that, and there was a lot of tension and a lot of really great relationship and character stuff to mine from her position. Shifting that really changed the narrative significantly, and part of that led to my character being able to really literally and metaphorically go to the basement and get muddled up in basically his origin story, you know, why he is who he is. And that's something I'm interested as a human being in the psychology of the characters, how that affects relationship, and what, you know, why they do what they do. And I think right from day one, Eric and I have always had a very clear sense that we didn't want this to be a mustache-twirly villain, that we wanted it to be a really grounded, anchored character. And this season we really got to explore that. And it was a hell of a lot of fun. I've always had a very open relationship with Eric when it comes to, I get pretty hands-on with the material, and he's incredibly collaborative and open when it comes to that. And we've got a great creative relationship. So it's really, it was a real treat, particularly in, I think it was episode 4, I got to go back and have a full episode just exercising the demons, so to speak. But of course, it was such a complicated set of scenes and moments within scenes that we just basically set up a template on which I could just go into this episode and dance around and see what came out, not really knowing what the result was going to be. It was a lot of fun.
How does that, for all of you, how does that collaboration process work with Eric? Does he, at the beginning of a season, does he walk you through, even though you may not see the scripts, does he walk you through your arc?
Yeah, I'd say he walks you through your arc, and I think Eric, he's incredible for so many reasons, and he's changed my life for the better. Like, I owe that man everything. He's incredible. I think that one of the reasons that he's so incredible is how collaborative he's willing to be, and you're able to look at a script and email him, you know, at any time before we go into production with just little thoughts and notes, and, you know, he's not always like, hey, that's a great idea, because, you know, we're not the writers, we're the actors, but, you know, he's willing to let some stuff in, and I'm sure this goes for all of us, like little parts of the backstory that we have created for ourselves have shown up in the script because we've talked about them with Eric, and I think that that's just incredible. But yes, he leads you through your arc, and he's willing to hear you out on it, and it's just an incredibly collaborative process that, I don't know, I say all this as we're shooting the 5th and final season, and it is very bittersweet. It is, you know, I say all this stuff, I'm like, yeah, it's so great. Oh no, it's ending soon. But, yeah.
Yeah, it's very sweet as well, because it just feels like Kirky is such an anomaly in terms of how receptive he is, in terms of like when we've had requests for our characters. Now, mind you, he doesn't say yes to everything, and he shouldn't, right? Like, if he did, it would be, you know, a bit of a red flag, if anything, because he's got a vision, and like, you know, you need, like, yeah, no.
Sorry, I just went through a dumb bit. I'm like,
No,
can
please.
Huey be wearing sunglasses in this
And
scene?
like, yeah, exactly.
Take them off slowly? Sorry, go ahead.
Exactly.
Go ahead with your sincere answer.
No, but no, I say yes. No, but basically he's receptive to us bringing up things, and he'll think about it, and if they're justified in terms of the storyline, he will do what is important to us in terms of like including what we think could be a seminal moment for our characters. And then also, like, I know that he's very trusting of us but he will challenge us, which I love that combination. I remember we rehearsed for weeks and weeks and weeks on the shifter scene, and we had decided on a way to go with it. And then the morning of that, that day that I shot that primary scene with the shifter, I said to him, I'm letting it all go, I'm changing it completely, trust me. And he did, and if it sucked, he would have told me, which I appreciate. And I always leave days where he's directed, knowing that we've got it, if he says we've gotten it, but he trusts me. So I completely switched, after months of rehearsing, and he was like, yeah, do it. So he has the ability to have a clear vision and doesn't have the kind of ego that gets in the way of collaborating with actors, but he has the confidence that you need in a boss.
Anthony, does it help to know where your character is going for the season, or do you like the surprise? Do you sometimes like getting that script and you don't know what the cliffhanger? You read something, there's a cliffhanger for the actor, and then you're waiting on that next script.
Yeah, it's interesting. Even if I know what's coming, it's still a surprise, which is one of the things I love about the show. Every time you read a script, whether it's the material that I'm going to be working on, because as I said, the way the show is structured, it's almost like two shows that intersect, which is a hell of a feat when it comes to the writing of it, to navigate that and weave those threads together. And I think they do a hell of a job and very successfully. But every time, there's so many shows that pull their punches now. There's so many shows out there that want to tick the correct boxes and do things right. And this has never been a show that's done that. It's always been unapologetically itself in its own lane. And I think people have responded accordingly to that. And I think, that relates to my answer to your question, is that I'm surprised when I read it, even when I know what's coming. So I think the surprise factor for the audience is crucial in the show's success. And that is, to Erin's point, Eric being able to trust the people around him, the people around him being completely committed to what they're doing, and taking ownership and responsibility for what they're doing across the board, not just the actors, but everyone. And that allows you to freestyle off the base, and make those decisions in the moment that are surprising. And if you're surprised when you're making it, the audience is going to be surprised when they're watching it. And you always want to be one step ahead of the audience. And I think this show at times is about 5 steps ahead. So I'm really proud to be a part of a show. As Jack said, it's wrapping up this season. I'm proud to have been a part of a show that actually has something to say and is unashamed and unafraid to say it.
So for all of you, you've read some of the scripts for season 5. In a word, one word describes season 5, each of you. For $5,000. Just $5,000. The White Lotus.
Okay, sure. Oh man.
Only noises are coming tonight.
What are some of the
What about
noises?
you, Anthony?
Yeah, you go first, please.
I can. I got 2 points.
One. Didn't you say one?
Yeah, but I can't choose.
You can take mine. You can take one of my words.
Say more than one word if you want.
I'm going to say more than one word. Here it is.
Yeah.
Unexpected and blood.
I mean, I feel like blood goes without saying on the show.
Oh, God.
But blood, I will say, oh God.
Oh my God. This is so, because
I have one more trick question.
Okay, all right. Well, here, I'll just
We
cut
can
to
go-
mine then, because I think I just got it. And it's not about necessarily what the audience will experience, but I think it's what I'm experiencing when making it is family is the word that comes to mind. I know that this is a show where we're all trying to kill each other at all times, but the people on stage with me and the people who are all in Toronto, they've truly become a family. I've known you guys for it's 5 seasons of a show, but it's 7 years of our lives, and it's It
Yeah.
really is cool to come to work every day and be with your family. So that's the word that's sticking out to me.
I'm not following that. I'm not. like word, I pass. Like I can't follow that. This is so.
We're so in it right now that it's
Yeah,
hard
yeah,
to
yeah.
really
You have another- you have
condense
Oh,
it.
but this is the last trick question.
no.
Okay.
So you guys, your relationship on the show has been up and down. Is there a future?
I
what's-
feel like you're asking us. Yeah, that's what the trick question is.
Hey, quit it.
Listen.
Stop. Why did you give him this power?
Listen, I don't know. Is it like I don't know.
I think we're gonna be fine. I'd like to
yeah.
imagine that there's a future for them, but I also
I
know
do
that this
too.
is the boys.
This is the boys, and like
So I
you
think
never
you're gonna
know.
have to wait and see.
Like it's the show. Like you never know when someone's just gonna say
You know, it
there's
is
like
a
a
show.
furnace in here, and then all of a sudden like
Things
you
go
never
wrong.
know. You never know. So you never know.
I'm gonna say a hard maybe.
Prime Video's The Boys.